Hi, Kevin. What are you doing?
Man, you guys are on a roll. Okay, Willard.
Well, don't mess it up then.
Hitting on. Hey, I won't.
Okay.
Listen.
Yes.
Willard, you're on a roll today. You are hitting on all cylinders regarding a different lineup every night. What is Steve doing? Listen, Kuminga, the last 2 games, he's not playing him like he used to. Steve has changed it. He's bringing in GP. He's taking the flow that he had before. When Draymond said, I think the best thing, I'm sure you guys heard it, when Draymond said the best thing, I hate to say it like this, but Kuminga developed when I was gone. Well, that little strategy is fading the last 2 games. And I hate to say it, guys.
Yeah.
If Steve plays the lineup the same way that he's done, experimenting. I mean, Willard, you hit it on point, bro. Like, you are on point today. I don't know what happened, but you're on point today.
Yeah, I had a different breakfast. I had pancakes for breakfast, Kevin. I usually go protein and veggies, but I had pancakes.
Well, hey, but listen, I'm not calling you as a fan, bro. Like, my mom played pro ball. My sons coach athletes, train professional athletes. I just got back from the NFL, Super Bowl, talking about mental wellness of athletes. I'm just calling to say, bro, you're on point. I hate that this happened. We finally got a little chemistry, and Steve is tinkering again. You know he's the best tinkerer. He's the smartest guy in the room. Well, and he's tinkering again. So.
Kevin, here's how I would respond to this. And thank you so much, my man. Yes, there's some tinkering. I would argue that's inevitable. So this is that's at the core of how I often, not always, but often feel about Steve Kerr, lineup changes, and criticism. This particular group is impossible to predict. And you're asking Steve Kerr to know what's going to happen next. Now, he's referencing Kuminga's last few games. I told you, he's averaging 19 a game here in February, but his last 3 games, 14, 13, 13. But that game against the Clippers where he only scored 13, played 35 minutes. He got his minutes. He didn't do a whole lot with them. This particular group, think about what you're asking Steve to do. Steve, I'd like you to know what Andrew Wiggins is going to do. I'd like you to predict Draymond Green's behavior. I'd like you to know Klay's mental wellness that night. I'd like you to be aware before it happens, Kuminga's engagement. I mean, good luck.
Wiggins is the one you can pretty much write in Sharpie what he's going to give you.
Not really. He's been good again. You can't take shots at him now.
He's been all right.
But this is the best he's been in a year.
Well, I mean, that's sad.
Call it sad, but also true.
10 points against the Clippers in the loss. 30 minutes, 4 of 10, 10 points. K-Wig.
Okay, that's one game.
Yeah, I know. We could cherry pick all kinds of games.
The game log, he's averaging, I get it. He's averaging 12.6 in February. But that started off with, there was a 2-point game against the Hawks where he only got 19 minutes.
Yeah.
After that, 21, 11, 12, 17, 10, 19. It's still not super uber consistent, but it's been a lot better. It's been a lot better.
The biggest issue has been the availability and to your point about, Steve Kerr, how's he supposed to know when guys are going to play well and when they're not? Normally you would have your mainstays, Steph, Klay, Dre, Kevon. You would know that these guys all are going to play and give you exactly what you expect. But out of that group, it's really only been Steph and Draymond since he's come back that you can bank on.
15 a night in his last 6.
Ooh.
Yeah.
15 a night.
15 a night.
Man, Wiggs.
That's Kuminga's season.
Right, 15.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, that's obviously taking the first 2 months into consideration when he did not get as many minutes. So I get that. Last month and a half, Kuminga's been a 20-point-a-night guy. But Wiggins has been better, right? Field goal percentage has been much better.
He's been all right.
The activity.
Better than what he was in the beginning of the year, which was awful.
Yes, absolutely.
So he's been better than awful. I'll give you that.
Correct.
Hip, hip, hooray. For the former number 1 overall.
North of market and north of awful.
Right.
Okay. Got breaking news. GP2 is out tonight.
Okay.
He's sick. So no GP2 for the Warriors against the Lakers. So the Lakers have no LeBron, but it's all even Steven because the Warriors don't have GP2.
Yep. It all bounces
Both
right
missing
out.
a guy. Just a guy.
Man.
Both missing a guy.
Any word on when Chris Paul's coming back? Are we a week away, or where are we in the ramp up?
I don't have a night when he's ready. I do have a concern. I don't have an answer. I have a concern.
And the concern is not with him playing, it's who doesn't get to play.
All right. We're going to go to the mayor of hoops in Cleveland, but ponder this for a second. And
actual mayor?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay.
But ponder this. Give me one good reason why Chris Paul would play significant minutes the remainder of the year.
Because he's really good at basketball.
Okay.
He's the point god, and he stabilizes your second unit on offense.
He does?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean, that's what I think.
When have the Warriors played their best this year? With or without him?
Well, they haven't had him for a long time.
Fair, but
both with and without him.
Really?
Yeah. Because he's played 32 games this year.
Okay. How many has he not played then?
He's not played 25?
Okay.
No. They've played 53, so he's not played 21.
Okay. I mean, I would argue their best basketball has been the last 3 weeks without him. I would argue that Brandon Podziemski is a different player than he was when Chris got hurt. I would argue that he is more effective at more things than Chris Paul. I would argue that the remaining 29 games are both about the remainder of this year and about setting things up for next year. And if we care about the youth of this team, and I would also argue Chris Paul has zero chance of being a part of this team next year,
right?
No matter what happens the rest of the way. Again, I'm not saying just give him DNPs, but give me one good reason why Chris would play significant closing minutes for this team the rest of the way.
Because you want to win games, and you feel like he's a guy who can help you win games, tight games down the stretch. What's been their biggest problem this year as a team?
I know you're going to say turnovers, but
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, closing. Yes, closing.
Thank you. Closing.
Right.
Blowing big leads and closing out games.
Which they were doing when he was playing also.
They're 16-16 when he plays. So they're basically the same team with him, the same team without him. And you could do that with almost every player.
That's true.
Record without. I just think about having a stabilizing force, one of the best point guards of all time on the court when you have these leads.
Yeah.
I can't help but think that his veteran presence would help them in some of these spots.
I just feel like he was on the court at the end for a lot of those games, and it didn't do a damn thing. And this is circumstantial. Like, if we look at the whole year, I get what you're saying, but this is circumstantial. You've reached a time where Podziemski is a better player, and you've got 29 games to go, and you're both trying to win, but you're also, we all admit, trying to set things up for the future that Chris Paul's not a part of. So what's the, like, if Podziemski starts turning the ball all over the place, sure, but he's a better option. He's a better player. He's a younger player. He's more important to the future, and he doesn't turn it over either.
Well, he'll be definitely a part of the future.
Rebounder. He's a better rebounder.
That will be one to watch, though, with when he gets healthy. What does Steve Kerr do down the stretch? Yeah. Because the fans, and I'm hearing you say you want pods in there in crunch time.
I want pods.
What does Steve Kerr do when it comes to nut crunching time and these really big spots? He leans on the veterans.
He does. Although less so, sometimes out of
necessity,
out of necessity, but less so in the last couple of months. All right, the mayor of hoops is in Cleveland. Hey, Mayor, how much did you win that election by?
Good evening. The reason I'm calling first, before I get to what I want to talk about, is that I am known in this northeastern Ohio as the mayor of hoops, and that was given to me by a local. If you know who Michael Ray Guy is, he does MAC football, and he's also done Baltimore. He was the voice of the Baltimore Orioles for a number of years.
Big fan.
Okay, so I have some credibility here. First of all,
no doubt.
Second of all, what I want to say is people wait in this neck of the woods to what I have to say.
Okay.
I've been watching the NBA. I've been watching the NBA for over 50 years.
Are you just going to give us your resume, or are you going to have a point at some point?
No, I have a point.
All right.
I heard the comments made by your owner today.
Well, he hasn't made any today, but go ahead. What did he do?
He said that he'll never bottom out.
Yeah, that's in an article that did come out today, correct?
Yeah, and I don't think he really understands, as long as he is owned an NBA team, that not everybody stays at the top. You guys are in the 9 or 10 spot. It's happening right now. And when your big three or whatever leave or retire, okay, people today, even our superstar here in Cleveland has said they want to play where they can win. And you're not going to have guys that you can win with. And another thing is, you guys have missed something in the NBA. And the small ball era of the NBA is done.
Oh, man.
Big man is back. And you don't have anybody.
Jeez, man.
You have nobody. Because Steve Kerr doesn't know how to coach big players, because everyone you had left or they got let go. I'm telling you guys something right now.
Who were the big people? Who were the good big people who left or were let go from the Warriors?
You had a number of guys. The guy that you drafted, Wiseman, you couldn't develop him either.
Right. Yeah. Because he's good.
And he's tearing it up in the Motor City.
He's
right,
crushing
Mayor?
it on the Pistons bench.
He's playing on the worst team in the NBA.
Right.
And he can't get minutes on the worst team in the association.
Yeah. Change your. No, he's not playing actually for the worst team in the NBA.
Mayor.
We have great big men here in Cleveland. We beat you guys two games this year.
Woo! Yeah, you did. How's that one title working out for you, Mayor?
We have one. Hey. You guys, I said you guys have had a great run, but the NBA is changing.
Yeah.
And the big man is back.
Well, okay, Mayor, thank you. You're amazing.
This is what we needed, a pro Evan Mobley call.
Yeah.
The Backstreet Boys were also back.
Well, listen,
Mayor.
you got Karl Anthony Towns as the 1 seed. You got Jokic as the 3 seed and the defending champ.
Yeah.
The Sixers are done. Why? Because Embiid is out.
Chet Holmgren's on the 2 seed.
There you go.
He's a big guy.
He's right. I mean, Boston.
Zubats is on the Clippers.
Boston doesn't have big man.
Zubats.
Wemby, the future.
Wemby.
They're the 15th seed.
Lots of losses on that team.
Yeah.
No, listen, he's got, there's a point somewhere in there. It was delivered in a hysterical sort of a way.
He's got a phone, and he made a call and made a point.
I really wanted him.
I played this game. I've coached this game.
I was thinking about that very guy. That's so good.
And so is everybody he's ever met, too.
Good.
Yeah, no, there's no good Warrior big man that's not Steve Kerr's fault. I mean, James Wiseman can't play. Why can't we just say that?